Well, hello everyone. We have another mathematician today that I want to talk about. Yay for Fridays and Matthery. Okay, this mathematician is an ancient, actually she's Egyptian, but this is around the time when ancient Greece and Rome had kind of covered this whole entire area of the world. Her name is Hypatia, and one of the reasons why I like to talk about her is she is the first female mathematician whose life is even reasonably well recorded. So I like to think of her as really the first female mathematician. Again, there's a debate on whether she was born in 350 or 370 AD in Alexandria, Egypt. So this is like, if you've heard of the Great Library of Alexandria, it's the same town. But there is no debate about when she died. She died in 415. She was a Neoplatonist, so Plato. She followed the teachings of Plotinus and taught philosophy and mathematics and astronomy. Her father was also a mathematician, and the cool thing is he raised her as he would have a son, rather than having her follow the traditional female roles of just getting to be a mom and a wife and taking care of the house and cooking the food. He let her study just like a man would, raised her as if she was a son, so she got to be an academic instead of a housewife. She was said to have exceeded even his mathematical work. And I liked this quote written about her. Someone had said, "The breadth of her interests is most impressive. Within mathematics, she wrote or lectured on astronomy and geometry, advanced geometry for the day, and advanced algebra for the day, and made an advance in computational technique. All of this as well as engaging in religious philosophy and aspiring to good writing style." So she kind of did all the things, which I think is so awesome. She also was a famed teacher. There's another quote that talks about how the front of her house was always crowded with people and horses, and while they're waiting for her to come out and teach them and lecture people. So she was super popular. Interesting, there's a lot of stuff that was happening in Alexandria at the time. There was a lot of religious intolerance. She was a pagan. This was when the Christian world was really starting to get going. But she was tolerant of everybody. There's a debate as to whether her murder was religiously based or motivated by political issues. One theory is that after a group of Christians had just kicked out all of the Jews from the city, they were so pumped up that they came across her chariot and they decided to kill her because she was a pagan. They're like, let's get rid of everybody that's not Christian. So this is where it was a brutal murder. This was not a nice situation. And it's pretty well established in she was pulled from her chariot, pulled into what used to have been a pagan temple, and it was now a Christian church, and they actually ripped the skin from her body with, depending on how you translate it, either oyster shells or roof tiles. And they kind of completely dismembered her and all of that, and then took the remains outside of the city and burned them. So that's not fun. Brutal murder. Very consistent with what was happening in that time period. Many considered her to be a martyr for philosophy, and her death really does signify the end of the classical period, and that's when that early Christianity really kind of took over. So that's Hypatia. She's our mathematician that was brutally murdered.